Will the truth ever come out in the Saif Ali Khan case? These are the questions that are mounting after two developments: a fingerprint twist, as reported by Mumbai's midday newspaper, and the claim by several former top police officers that the man on the CCTV and the man in the Mumbai Police's custody in the Saif Ali Khan case do not appear to be the same man. I'm Barkha Dutt. You're with the Mojo story. Our focus today is on asking whether India and the public will ever know the truth about who actually stabbed Saif Ali Khan. Remember that the actor was stabbed 6 times by this man, said the Mumbai police, a Bangladeshi national. But since his arrest, questions have begun mounting. Mumbai's midday newspaper reported that none of the 19 crime scene fingerprints matched those of Shariful Islam. That's the name of the man in police custody. There have also been veteran IPS officers who have raised questions and doubts about whether the man on CCTV footage and the man in the Mumbai police's custody are in fact the same man, with senior officers like Amod Kant telling us on this platform that they believe the two men to be different. In the meantime, we've also had this image released in the early stages of the investigation. A man called Mr. Kanojia, who has now told the Hindu and the Times of India that he believes that his life has been ruined ever since his pictures were released in the early stages of the investigation as a possible suspect. He has since been released, but he says that his life has been ruined. Nobody is willing to give him a job. He was about to get married, and even that is in jeopardy. Meanwhile, the Maharashtra Chief Minister, Devendra Fadnavis, has said that the media is being far too speculative in the questions that it is raising, and he has argued that the investigation is well on track. Is the case imploding? Are there many serious questions? Have mistakes been made? Or will we eventually get to the truth? Let me introduce our guests on the program today as we look at the bizarre twists and turns of the Saif Ali Khan stabbing case. Padma Rao Sundarji, veteran journalist and analyst, is with us. A pleasure to have you back with us, Padma, after a long time. Also joining us is veteran IPS officer. I want to welcome him to the program, Mr. Arvind Kumar Jain. Good to see you, sir. Also joining us from the NCP, the Sharad Pawar faction of the NCP, is Rachna Vaidya. So far, the opposition had been backing the Mumbai police. Will they continue to do that in the light of these reports? We'll find out. Also joining us is PK Jain. He's, of course, a veteran IPS officer from Maharashtra, the former additional DGP. Welcome, sir. We've been trying to talk to you for a long time, and good to finally have you with us. And also joining us is Susie Ben Shah. She's, of course, a senior leader, very feisty leader of the Shiv Sena Eknath Shinde group. Thank you very much, all of you. Let me actually start with you, Susie Ben. You know, for the last few days, every time you've come on the program, you've said that you fully believe and you have trust in the Mumbai police. And none of us want to question the police for the sake of it. But now there are people within the police fraternity who have begun to raise some questions. They say that they're not sure that the man on the CCTV and the man in the police custody is the same. They say forensics will decide that. But the midday, as you know, has reported, quoting unnamed sources, that the fingerprints of the man arrested and the fingerprints gathered from the crime scene do not match. Are you beginning to have some doubts, Susie Ben?
Not at all. I think the media the media focus on this case, I don't think is helping in any manner. While I'm not saying that you must do your duty, you are the third pillar of the democracy and we have greatest respect for you. But while the investigation is ongoing, I think the only person whom we can believe is the Mumbai police. Now, whether midday people coming up from so-called informed sources, I really don't know whether how much reliable it is, unless and until the police tells us. Forensic is the science which no one can doubt. It is the final analysis of the person, the truth behind it. And let me tell you, Barkha, we are on top of it. If there is any confusion, it will be sorted out, which I believe is none. But if there is any, the Mumbai police is a trusted police force, and I'm sure they'll rise to the occasion.
You make the important point that media speculation is hurting the case, and we've certainly tried to avoid any speculation, at least on this platform and on these programs. And so I'm very careful. Thank you, ma'am. I want to play out Devendra Fadnavis, his statement, the Maharashtra Chief Minister. The media did doorstep him and ask him whether he has concerns, he has doubts. And I want to play out for you what he said. Take a look.
देखिए, मैं साफ कहता हूं और मीडिया को भी मेरा कहना है कि जो बातों की पुष्टि नहीं है, पुलिस ने जो बातें बताई नहीं है, जो बातें हुई नहीं है, उसको लिख कर या उसको दिखा कर इस प्रकार से एक कंफ्यूजन तैयार करना ठीक नहीं है। मैं इतना ही कहता हूं कि इस मामले में पुलिस बहुत अच्छे तरीके से तफ्तीश कर रही है। करीब करीब सारी चीजें पुलिस को मिल चुकी है। अब इसको अंतिम जो छोर है वहां तक पुलिस ले जाएगी। और आपकी सुविधा के लिए हमारे मुंबई के सीपी यहाँ पर है, मैं उनको ये कहूंगा कि आज या कल कभी भी एक बार आप सबकी जानकारी के लिए इसकी पूरी जानकारी आपको उपलब्ध कराएं।
That press conference that the Chief Minister is urging the Mumbai Police Commissioner to have is something perhaps that could have been done a while ago, because nature abhors a vacuum. I want to bring in Rachna Vaidya's response to what Susie Ben and the Maharashtra Chief Minister has said. Again, to be careful to not politicize it. We all respect the police force. We initially saw no reason to raise questions for the sake of it, but it's been some time, and now we are seeing reports that the police itself may be looking at a second suspect, and not the only one in their custody. Your response?
From day one, when this apparent robbery happened at Saif Ali Khan's house, there have been various questions which still remain unanswered. Right from the motive, which we had requested that all angles have to be investigated. It doesn't seem to be a plain, pure robbery. After that comes the arrest of Shariful Islam. And now, there is, I don't want to again quote unquote which media house, which newspaper, but it's very clear that Shariful is not the person who had actually broken into Saif Ali Khan's house. Also, the investigation is getting derailed somewhere.
You're basing this on what? You made a very categorical statement. You said Shariful is not the man who broke into Saif Ali Khan's house. You are basing this on what?
I said quote unquote from a few newspapers, and you know what the media is now saying, that he's not, I don't want to mention names of maybe the newspaper, the reporters, the channels, but now they have reached a stage where we are getting to know that he is not the same person. Well, the images also, Barkha, if people see, we can make out that he's actually not, from the face of it, he looks different. But when forensics confirms certain things, they have confirmed that the fingerprints all around the house do not match that of Shariful Islam. So that seriously raises questions whether the investigation is going on in the right direction, whether the Mumbai Police is taking orders from somebody and not trying to bring forth what actually is happening. As Honorable Devendra Fadnavis ji made a statement that the CP will now come out and, talk to people and try to tell them all that has happened. It should have happened long time back. The police or somebody should have released an official statement rather than everybody making speculations. Media surely is not to be blamed here, because y'all are the third pillar of democracy. Y'all have the freedom of press. And, y'all are just, I think so, expressing the common
so the doubts are mounting.
What I want to just, put forth here is that the law and order in Mumbai or Maharashtra is a serious concern. Our Home Minister should be seriously looking into all the crimes happening around in the state. But that is not what is his focus.
Okay,
and that's the reason the investigation is completely got derailed, and we don't have any concrete things come up even after a week of the attack.
Okay, Susie Ben, just a 30-second response, because we have veteran IPS officers, also Padma, waiting. If you want to respond, the opposition representative says the investigation has derailed. The investigation has imploded. And, you have seen Midday saying the fingerprints don't match. A veteran IPS officer like Amod Kant has on this program said that he thinks the face of the man arrested and the face on CCTV are decidedly different. I'm quoting him, what he said to me. He said they're decidedly different people. And he also said these images should never have been leaked, because witnesses can now turn. These images should never have come into the public domain. I'll get PK Jain and Arvindji to respond to that, but a 30-seconder from you, Susie Ben.
No, I'll tell you this, the entire line of the opposition is this is the one agenda to kind of use as a brickbat as far as this Mahayuti government is concerned. They have no other issue save and except Saif Ali Khan to make vilest and bizarre allegations. First, they spoke about the miracle recovery as to how Saif Ali Khan could recover so fast. How did the operation go so well? And how? Now, come on. Now, these are the such issues, whether it be the police investigation.
Ma'am, those questions were raised by people in your alliance. No, those questions were raised by Sanjay Nirupam and Nitish Rane. One is a BJP minister, the other is a Shiv Sena colleague.
No. Nitish Rane, Sanjay Nirupam, and it was nicely backed up with the opposition. The opposition have lapped on it. My only limited question is that the doctor can talk about as the doctor can talk about health, the police can talk about the investigation. Everything else is just controversy, is rumor mongering. Let me tell you this: the chief minister, who is an able administrator, a tall leader, a known no-nonsense leader, who's given a free hand for investigation, has said that the police will give a proper statement, will come up with a press conference. Now, a day maybe here or there, if the official statement is bound to come out. Till then, we must rest our horses and let us wait.
Okay,
let the investigation get completed.
Let me bring in PK Jain, Arvind Kumar Jain, and Padma Rao now. Mr. PK Jain, in the initial days, it looked like the Mumbai police had moved swiftly to crack the case. Everybody applauded them. There was concern and discussion about, the Bangladeshi illegal migration issue. Now, a few days after that press conference by the Mumbai police, serious doubts are being expressed, including by those in your own fraternity, about whether the right man is in the custody of the Mumbai police. Do you believe that this has been botched up, or will you still have some faith in the claim made by the Mumbai police about the man they've arrested?
Barkha, good evening. Thank you very much for getting me here. See, I have a very strong take on this. One is, there are certain inexplicable gaps in the theory, but see, the chief minister, who is not new to the controlling the home department, he has made a very, very categorical statement that the police are on the right track, they are doing their job properly, and I have no reason to doubt him. All these things which are happening and coming in the media are all guesswork, people's personal observations, their own how they look at the whole thing. Now, whether this guy is the same person, Shariful is the same person who has entered Saif Ali Khan's house and done all that, it can be very easily settled, and I'm sure that the investigating officer is looking into it. See, there's something called the skull scanning and matching. If you superimpose the skull of Shariful Islam on the skull of the person whom we see on your left side of your screen,
let's go
it will be easily. It will be very easily. See, the moment you superimpose the scanning of the skull of Shariful Islam on the skull of the person that you are seeing here, it will be immediately established whether it is the same person or not. I'm sure that must have been done by Mumbai Police, by the investigating officer. Now, generally in such cases, had it not been Saif Ali Khan, nobody would have probably bothered. This case would not even have been on the channels for so long, for so many days. Just because it is Saif Ali Khan, we are trying to look into each and every aspect of how did he go to the hospital, how many people, who took him, why was Karina not accompanying him. Just so many number of questions which cannot be answered. My limited take on this is that the police should have come out with some kind of informative bulletin, not exactly detailing or telling the public about the course of investigation or the contents of investigation, but some basic facts should have been doled out by them. The only thing which bothers me in this entire saga is that the investigating officer who had detected the case, who actually apprehended Shariful Islam, was subsequently transferred out of this case. I mean, it generally does not happen. In such cases, in such high-profile cases, we do give the cases to the best of the officers. But that should have been done in the initial stage. From the first 1 or 2 days, had it been done, probably nobody would have asked any question. But now, after 3 or 4 days, when the actual accused was arrested, or the so-called accused was arrested, then the IO is being transferred. I mean, that does not really sound very convincing to me. So but since the police are not giving out any details of this investigation as to what exactly has happened, where are they at the current moment, it will be impossible for anybody to say anything. Sometime back, the media put out the opinions of the private forensic investigators, saying that the face is so long, so wide, so broad, and all that. And now today, Midday has come out with this story that the fingerprints are not matching. I actually cannot say this thing till the time the investigating officer or his superiors come on to the media and declare this thing. So I think we'll have to wait and watch. I will not say that the case has been botched up. I will not say that the case is on the right track. Whatever is being done by the IO, they know that they are under a lot of scanner of the media and the public. I'm sure that they will wrap up the case properly. I have no second doubt in my mind. If they can, if at all this person is the actual accused, if they can, I would calling it. I would call it, finding the needle in the haystack. If they could identify and arrest this person, I'm sure they will wrap up the rest of the investigation, evidence properly, and present a cogent, cohesive case to the court. So there's no reason to doubt.
I just do one more question to you before I go to Arvind Jain. You said there are certain inexplicable gaps. Could you give an example of one?
See, Barkha, there are so many. We are all talking about it. It is the knife which was when they said that it's a hacksaw blade. It does not appear to be a hacksaw blade. It is a regular knife which has been picked up. A person, an accused or a thief who goes to the thief enters the building, nobody sees him. He goes to the top floor, nobody sees him. He enters a particular flat. How did he enter the flat is not explained at all. Because, see, a person cannot just walk into a building, into any random flat, and then commit a theft or a robbery there. The robbery part was because he wanted to escape. But then he was locked up in the room. The initial stories which came was said that he was locked in the room. From there, he escaped. Somehow the entire thing does not add up. It does not add up to a very, very convincing kind of a story. So we will have to wait for the police to come out on some of these details of investigation once they are close to filing a charge sheet. As of date, you will not get anything from the police. Especially, I know Vivek Fansalkar. He will not come out with anything else. No opinions, no opinionated discussions. It will be only the facts of the story and the way they happened or the way they saw them happening, and they'll be presented to the public and the media.
Arvind Kumar Jain, if you'd like to add to what PK Jain has said, he's being very cautious. He's saying he will neither say it's botched up, nor will he say the police is on the right track. We simply don't know enough. There are gaps. The police could have done information-driven bulletins, not conclusion-driven bulletins. The only press conference we've had from the Mumbai Police basically said that they'd caught the guy. Now there are all kinds of questions. Like for me, the basic question I have is, even if he slipped in unnoticed, how did he go out unnoticed? If you have a knife battle with somebody, how does this guy, he comes in at 1:30, he leaves at 2:33 according to the timestamp on the CCTV. How does he go out unnoticed? 2:30 in the morning for Bandra, Mumbai, everything is not dead. It's not a lifeless part of the city. There are clearly auto walas, people around. That's how the auto rickshaw is taken. Where were the night watchmen? Even if they were sleeping when the guy came in, where were they when they went out? Where were the neighbors? There are so many basic questions here. What do you think? Do you believe the police is embarrassing itself unnecessarily by not addressing some of these questions, that they should take some of these questions head on? Or maybe the police doesn't know the answer right now to some of these questions?
First of all, in my opinion, I have never commented on other police forces. Investigation is still on. I have great regard for Mumbai Police, City Police. But a few things, they baffle me. Number one, senior most officer who has come on channels as DCP. This is an important case and it should have been handled by at least joint CP rank or CP rank officer. And daily briefings should have been done. If not daily, on alternate days, a briefing should have been done, which Mumbai Police is avoiding. I don't know what is the reason. What Mr. PK Jain said, it also baffled me that IO has been changed. Why IO has been changed? There is no justification for that till now. Number two, the face of the person when he is going up the stairs, it's covered. It means he knows that his activities can be monitored. But when he is coming down after committing the crime, so-called crime, his face is not covered and he is looking at CCTV, and he is putting on shoes also. So this is a very surprising thing. I also noticed it on day one. Several channels asked me, but I refused to comment on it. But now when we are having a detailed discussion, I think it is very baffling that the person is not aware that his identity will be disclosed, and the way he has been caught from Hira Nandani, that jungle part, and 100 men. I was told they were put on the job, and finally they zeroed on the man. I hope he is the right man. Number two, in my opinion, um, the accused has been the arrested accused has been taken to the house of Saif Ali Khan twice, and even maids, Karina, Saf, others, even they must have interrogated him. It is not possible that the family members or the maids present there will not interrogate him. Generally, the family asks, "From where did you enter? From where did you enter? How did you get the access? Have you been to the house, this house before?" So I'm really surprised why Saf or Karina or the maids, they are not coming out with any statement. They should have come out with the statement. No, yes, he is the real accused. Why are you unnecessarily raising fingers over the arrest? We are confirmed that he is the accused. I have not heard even a single word from the family, from the maids till now. This is very surprising. I don't know on whose directions it is being done, but this is not. This is giving rise to several gossips, and I have put in 37 years of service. In such cases, generally the accused is interrogated, and interrogated by the family members, by the person who was stabbed. He will be able to tell. So there are absolutely no doubts about it that if he is the accused, then Saf and the other family members and the maid should come out with a statement. They should clear this confusion. No, he is the accused. We are confirmed about it, and but that is also there, that the face doesn't match, and the weight part of the accused, that also doesn't match. But I have never commented on it. I have seen several officers, so many ex-DGPs, they have commented on this, and I have gone through it. But I was also waiting for briefing from some senior officer of Mumbai Police before I speak on the topic.
Okay, thank you for that. I think we've all waited, tried to be responsible, waited for some of these details to come, and both veteran IPS officers have given a very detailed chronicle of some of the questions that strike them as odd. Padma, the commonsensical point, which I really want Suzy Ben also to respond to, was raised by you in response to a clip I had shared from an earlier show, and you asked me exactly what AK Jain just raised. Why doesn't Saif Ali Khan come forth and say who was he wrestling with? Was it the man who's been taken into custody or not? Surely he would know. Surely the mask that fell, or the kapda ka mask that clearly fell, would have given Saif a chance to see his face clearly. Same with Ilyama Philip, the nanny, and same with Kareena Kapoor, who is said to have come down with Saif Ali Khan into the room where their younger son was screaming. As a journalist, what is bothering you right now about everything we know or don't know?
Yeah, thank you. Absolutely. I mean, normally in cases like this, there is always something known as an identification parade, either in front of the people who were attacked or in front of, various people who may have seen them, eyewitnesses. We don't know whether that has happened or not. And I don't really mind not knowing, because as the gentlemen have pointed out.
I think Mr. P.K. Jain has a brief interjection. Sorry, he wants to say something to you, Padma. I didn't want to interrupt, but he wants to say something to you only on your point. Mr. Jain?
Barkha, the test identification parade which is held is when the accused's face is not known to anybody. Now, if the accused has been taken to the house of the complainant, his photo has been flashed all over the media, test identification parade is purely useless. It has no evidentiary value whatsoever. So what Mr. Jain has said just now, that yes, somebody, Saif Ali Khan, he was there for a good 1 hour in the house. I mean, somebody in the house can certainly recognize him and say for sure that yes, he was the man. So that should have been done at least. So TIP does not really make much of a difference here.
Fair enough. Padma, over to you. Yeah.
Mr. Jain, I was perhaps using the wrong technical term, but what I meant was exactly what the other gentleman said. Were these people identified? Whoever the police is accusing or suspects of the crime, were they identified by the actual people who were attacked? That's what I meant. An identification parade may be perhaps the technical expression which I used wrongly. Anyway, to come back to your original question, Barkha, what is my take on the whole thing? I'd like to say that two things. Here we're hearing constantly about the interplay between the media and Mumbai police. Now, on both, I'd like to say something as a member of the media myself. I'd like to say that, look, media will focus on high profile cases. We'd all like an ideal world where every case is focused upon equally. But to the fairness, to be fair to the media itself, I'd like to say, look, we did focus on cases like Nirbhaya, for instance. The media did an admirable job. And Nirbhaya was not a Saif Ali Khan and not a celebrity. So that, to the credit of the media and to the credit of Mumbai police, as you know and I know, we both covered 26/11 on the ground, and I know what an admirable job the Mumbai city police did in the face of the delayed arrival of the NSG and given such a massive crime. So hats off to the Mumbai police. Now, having said that, there are a few criticisms I have to offer. The media, we're talking now there's a third new angle, Barkha, on some channels I saw today, that the police are now looking for somebody, and of course this has not been corroborated by the police, for somebody in Kolkata who is supposed to have aided and may have been an accomplice to this guy whom they caught. Now, and all this while, the media seems to be focusing on aiding, abetting an illegal immigrant, for instance. This seems to be a complete sort of tangent that we are going on. And is this what the media should be focusing on in this particular case? Now, that's something I have to criticize. The other thing is that should the Mumbai police have been giving away so much or allowing so much to be leaked? For instance, the photograph of Kanojia, that poor guy who's lost his job and who was picked up by a policeman. Why were these photographs released at all? That's the second question. And then why is the media not asking these two simple questions which we asked? Which of these various accused have been identified by Saif Ali Khan and his family themselves? And also, the police, of course, may or may not comment on a possible inside collaboration. But, increasingly, this points to just the fact that this guy had access to this extreme high security building, and the fact that we're not hearing anything from the family itself. Not many people in the media have asked the question, could this have been an insider job? Could there have been some internal connivance which allowed him such easy access to the 11th floor? I don't believe the story about him climbing up like Spider-Man through the garbage chute or whatever, but nobody so far that amongst the media I've seen has actually asked this question as to could there have been some kind of internal connivance, not the family, but maybe the staff, the extended sort of staff members that celebrities usually have, and could that be a reason for the family's silence, that they're not talking about it themselves? So all these really need to be sorted out. And again, as I said, I think it's the Mumbai police. I have full faith in the Mumbai police, and I'm sure they're going to crack the case. But there are many sort of fault lines in both
Again,
how the police
yeah.
are dealing with it as well as the media. Yeah,
I think it's important to say to you, Susie Ben, that and to all our colleagues from the IPS here, this is not a sweeping indictment of the Mumbai police as a force. But certainly when things don't add up, we have to raise those points. Now, when you look at Mr. Kanojia's case, I'm glad Padma raised it. In separate interviews to both the TOI and the Hindu, this man who's a driver in Mumbai, he was about to get married, right? He says that I will go and stand outside Saif Ali Khan's house to get a job because I've lost everything. My reputation has been ruined. Now, he was arrested by the railway police. His images were flashed everywhere as the initial suspect in the case. We also carried it because it was officially released. These were officially released images. This was not speculative, Susie Ben. So this seems very unfair. The police must come forward and give a complete clean sheet of certification to him and help rehabilitate this poor man, because he's now been released and his pictures were flashed everywhere. And one of the things, we have very senior police officers, but one of the things that, for example, Amod Khan, former DGP, said, he said none of these images should have been in the public. Till the police was ready to say, this is the man, this is the person we've caught, nothing should have come out in public. Why are these pictures, including the CCTV images, being shared? So do you acknowledge that that is a concern, Susie Ben?
This, I completely agree that there has been, as far as the police is concerned, there has been more information and the lack of information. I think both is playing a part here. There should have been official statements. There should have been, the police force should have been more forthcoming. I completely agree. But as far as the Saif Ali Khan and police are concerned, they are working towards a foolproof charge sheet. You see, both the family as well as the police. None of us can doubt that or deny that. And therefore, I think it is a part of their investigation, part of the strategy, if I may say, that to ensure that unless and until there is a open and shut case, they are not coming up with any statements, whether it be the family. I think as far as this family is concerned, they have been traumatized. So I believe that is the reason that they're not forthcoming, or it's a part of the strategy. I will not be able to comment. But yes, Mumbai Police, I'm sure, shortly will come up with a statement. And now that Devendra Fadnavis ji also has said so, I think the official statement is coming. As far as Mr. Kanojia is concerned, you are absolutely right. He should be given a clean sheet and try to rehabilitate. I will surely convey and ensure that that happens.
Thank you for saying that. I really hope that we're able to help this man. My heart really goes out to him, because once you've been labeled a possible thief, who is going to give you a job? Your photo has been on every channel in the country. You really have to feel for Mr. Kanojia. And I want to discuss that with both our IPS officers and Padma, but I just want Rachna's reaction. I think Susie Ben has been quite blunt, quite plain spoken. She says the police could have at times given more information, at times given less information. Perhaps mistakes have been made on both counts, but now give them space to do their job without political noise. What would you say?
Exactly. For once, I agree with Susie Ben that police should have come out with an informative bulletin, which they didn't come out with, but they didn't delay to flash Kanojia's photos across everywhere. That's where they could have just waited and investigated a bit more, because a poor man's life is really sort of ruined. It is purely that the police is, sorry to say this, maybe, both the senior police officers, PK Jain and AK Jain, sir, will not like me saying this. I truly have high regards for Mumbai Police. I feel safe in Mumbai. But somewhere, Mumbai Police is losing their credibility. Mumbai Police has sort of become a puppet in the hands of certain people, not to name anybody. The Home Ministry should seriously and aggressively look into it. But sadly, our Home Minister is, I think so, trying to settle the battles of the guardian ministers and the cabinet ministries, which are happening. Don't want to talk much about it. But I think so, Devendra Fadnavis ji should now focus on all the crimes that are happening in our state, be it Saif Ali Khan, be it the Sarpanch killing in Beed, be it the custodial killing in Parbhani. Everywhere justice is awaited and justice delayed is justice denied. So even in Saif Ali Khan's case, we need proper investigation, a more open investigation, investigating all the angles. Please, the police should have some patience before just floating across some things. Media, I don't blame them. They are doing an excellent job, since the police who should come forward and keep the people informed, because people have a lot of questions, doubt. They are as it is scared for their safety and security. And
I think one thing we all agree on. I think one thing we all agree on. Yeah, sorry, I'm cutting you short because I want to go to both the IPS officers and Padma. Susie, when a 30-seconder there, I think we all agree that what happened with Kanojia is very, very unfortunate. And really, it is now the state government's responsibility to rehabilitate him in some way, because otherwise, no one is going to give him a job. His life is in that sense really in turmoil. You had a quick response to Rachna, and then I'll come to PK Jain and EK Jain.
Just to tell Rachna that justice might be delayed but never denied. That's one thing. You see, we are not a banana republic. There are proper processes for investigation. To see Kasab, it took a year. I mean, it was an open and shut case, but there are procedures, procedures to be followed. There are investigation to be done. Forensic comes in. I mean, we can go on and on, but that's not the show for. So, therefore, as I said, there might be a little hiccups here and there, but be rest assured, justice will be done. As far as whether it be the bead, the sarpanch in Mr. Deshmukh, it is a very, very sorry state of affairs, but everywhere the state has swung into action. I can say that yes, the state is not acting and you might have grievances, but in all the cases that you pointed out, the state has acted decisively with a clear message that no fear, investigate properly without fear or favor, whosoever or howsoever the powerful may be.
Okay.
So once again, let me tell you this: investigation is ongoing. Patience. While I'm not doubting the role of the media, but speculation is what I am concerned about. And whipping up a false narrative and a frenzy. That is what I'm dead against, and I think Barkha is not one of those, but all the same.
Yeah, I will say, I don't want to talk about the rest of media, but generally speaking, I will say that a news development that has crime, actors, the hot potato politics of allegations of illegal migration, right? It has all of this. In India's financial capital, this cannot not be a news story that journalists will follow. It should not be a feeding frenzy. One should not get irresponsible and salacious and gossipy. But the hard questions will have to be asked, and they'll have to be answered to the extent that the police knows the answers. Here, I want Mr. P.K. Jain to come in. Mr. P.K. Jain, sometimes there's a lot of pressure on the police. Let's be honest. There's a lot of pressure in a case like this to deliver a result fast. And that's when a mistake like what happened with Kanojia happens. And I think Susie Ben put it quite interestingly. Sometimes there's been too little information from the Mumbai police, and sometimes there's been too much. All of these things that are leaking, the police state. I mean, great for us as journalists, but from the point of view of investigation, the CCTV footage, the police statements, this poor man who was named a suspect for no reason. So, जब चुप रहना चाहिए शायद चुप नहीं रह रहे, जब बोलना चाहिए तो शायद बोल नहीं रही. How do you see it, Mr. Jain? Mr. P.K. Jain, since both are Mr. Jain. P.K. Jain first.
See, unfortunately, Barkha, we have a oral diarrhea when it comes to doling out information to the public and to the media. Some people just cannot control themselves. I'll give you two specific examples. One was Nadeem Shravan. The then Commissioner of Police made a statement about them when Gulshan Kumar was murdered. And that statement came in very handy for Nadeem because he could never be brought back to India because of that statement. In the recent past, in Badlapur case where this rapist was killed in an encounter, the defense has been able to, or the prosecution for that, in favor of that Ankush Shinde, who was the accused, they have been able to prove that what the police officer said at the time of his arrest or when the incident took place and what stand they took in the court were totally different. And that is why eventually the High Court has now ordered that an offense of murder should be registered in that case. So unfortunately, the police officers have to be extremely guarded when they give out information to the media or to the public. Therefore, yes, but as I said, some informative bulletin should have been shared that this is the development because people are interested. You very correctly pointed out, it is actors, it is a crime story, it is their very well protected house, it is now Bangladeshis have gone into it. Police are under a lot of pressure. For the first 72 hours, everybody was asking, what is the police doing? Where is the Scotland, number 2 Scotland Yard police in the country? And they have not been able to catch the guy. So they were under tremendous pressure to arrest somebody. Kanojia's face should not have been made public for the simple reason that whenever a test identification parade, which one of our panelists was mentioning, that whenever this TIP would have been held, it would have lost its evidentiary value had he been the accused. But I would slightly disagree with you here that his life has been ruined. And no, his life was ruined when he was named as one of the suspects. But we all have been crying hoarse now, saying that all 3 people who were suspected earlier are not involved in the crime. So he's exonerated already. But yes, whatever damage has been done has been done. I have no disagreement with that. but the police should be extremely guarded in releasing whatever information they do. So that's how I look at it, Barkha.
Arvind Kumar Jain, if you would like to add to that, where do you think the police's attention should now be? There's talk, as I think somebody mentioned, a second suspect in Kolkata. But there is a lot of skepticism now about whether, you yourself said that to your eye, the face doesn't look the same. Mr. P.K. Jain said there's a skull matching, very sort of unimpeachable forensic method of ascertaining whether it's the same man. This evidence will have to stand in court. You see, if this is the man, the CCTV man and the arrested man are the same, that forensics has to be, have the last word in court. And, if the case is weak, then the case will collapse in court. Mr. Arvind Jain.
Yes, you are absolutely correct. I think Mumbai Police should not have taken the case very lightly right from the beginning. Initially, 2-3 days, they were very serious about it. And after that, there is absolutely no news about the case. So naturally, there will be speculation. Who are the eyewitnesses? Who are the eyewitnesses who are going to depose in a court of law? Saif is there, Karina is there, maids are there. So, and they are very much present there. They were at the scene of crime. So why are they not coming out? I'm very surprised. I seen one of the footage. Karina is scolding the maids. Why is she scolding the maids? Why is she getting angry? What is the reason behind it? That footage was there. So naturally, So naturally, suspicion is raised. Now that we are talking about second accused, that there was another accused. This has never come out. Police should have come out with the theory that there are 2 accused. We have nabbed one of them, and we will nab the other one shortly. Police Commissioner Mr. Fadnavis has said for the first time that he'll be talking to the press. I hope it will clear so many doubts. He should speak as to why the IO was changed, what has been the progress. As Mr. Jain said, now there is no role of test identification parade. His face is known throughout the country and in foreign countries also. So people are very curious about the case. No sense in test identification parade. He should have been recognized by Saif Ali, by the people present in the house, and they should have come out with the statement congratulating the police that they have nabbed the real accused. They have not done it so far. I don't know what is the reason behind it. They must have been directed by police not to speak on the point. This is not going to solve the issue. It is making it all the more complicated.
Yeah, your electricity has just gone out, but your point was crystal clear, and don't worry on that count. Padma, last word to you. I think A.K. Jain raises the very fundamental question about commonsensical question. Saif and Karina, are they silent because they've been asked or requested by the police to do so? Are they silent of their own accord? I think we have that video where you can see, I'm asking my producers to play it, where at night you see her standing next to an auto rickshaw in a seeming argument with her nanny. Like, we don't have an answer. A lot of answers may lie with the family themselves. So at some point, they're going to have to speak.
I mean, and are they silent also because, of course, the police may have told them to be silent, perhaps because, the larger network of staff have been interrogated. Perhaps there are some needles of suspicion point to, as I said, some kind of internal connivance. So in whichever way, I mean, their silence is really, I mean, I think it needs to be lifted now. But I just wanted to make 2 quick points. One to Susie Ben, she talked about justice delayed but never denied. Right in this case, I'm not that optimistic, Susie Ben, because we also had this curious case of the 25 lakhs of cashless dispensation made immediately to Saif Ali by the insurance company. And I mean, when you think of including myself, I mean, people in India struggle for years and years and years and have to provide mountains of documentation to get what is rightfully due to them, even to cover a small amount like 2 lakhs or 3 lakhs. So I find this, over eagerness to meet the demands of celebrities who could actually afford 25 lakhs themselves. But that's another question. I think that is really over the top, and the medical, the doctors themselves pointed it out in a letter. The other point I'd like to make is that, police reports, yes, they should be, there should be regular updates that should be put into place as a system. But then I'd like to see the same kind of, alacrity and the same kind of verbal diarrhea as Mr. Jain said, in the smallest of small cases and in the most unimportant cases. I don't want the police to swing into action giving us updates only because it's a celebrity. Perhaps again, that's wishful thinking, but there you are, So it should not necessarily be just, because this is a celebrity's case. If the police do put into place a regular system of updates, then that should be put into place for everybody. Just as insurance companies should be acting as, this was even a case where there was a knife involved. In normally you'd have to file an FIR, and then the hospital would admit you unless you had an FIR filed, and unless all hospitals dither over even any admissions which are even part which have a slightly criminal slant to them. So I feel that there are many things that need to be changed. That includes also the enormous importance we give to VIP cases, and not so much to lesser gods.
Okay, I do have to close. Susie Ben, if you have a closing, just a one sentence, I'll let you have it. Can we unmute Susie Ben, please?
Yeah, VIP getting a priority is world over. It is not only in India. That's the way the system is. Now, as far as the insurance is concerned, ma'am, it is definitely improving. I run a factory where I employ 800 people, and I see that claims getting settled way faster than before. But yes, it has to be better, but we are surely improving. So as far as 25 lakhs is concerned, whether Saif needed it or not, it's a different story. But I'm glad that he got it.
If he's paying for the insurance, he's entitled to it. But of course, the reality of life is that the wheels do move faster for anybody who knows somebody.
That is world over. That is world over.
That is the world.
You have access to better justice. The richer that you are, you have better access to justice.
Yes.
That's the system, world over. It's not only to India.
I think Padma's trying to say something. Could we unmute her, please?
But that doesn't excuse us from what happened, in this case. That doesn't say we can't say that, it happens everywhere. So therefore,
it's only Saif Ali Khan that we're particularly talking about. That is the reason. But yes, everyone should be equal. I completely agree on you on that.
Okay. The questions are mounting. The Chief Minister has said that the Mumbai Police Commissioner will be addressing some of those questions. I think the other thing, I'm sure Mr. P.K. Jain and Arvind Jain will agree with me. Sometimes there is no harm in saying, I don't know. We don't know the answer to this yet. Is an absolutely legitimate thing to say in the course of an investigation, because things are not known, and it's better to not have an answer than to have the wrong answer. That is something I think is also important to reflect on, as happened with this Akash Kanojia, whose picture was flashed everywhere. We look forward to that press conference from the Mumbai Police. Again, this is not about denigrating the Mumbai Police as a force, but it is about asking important questions, and maybe these questions will also release the Mumbai Police from the extraordinary pressure that they must feel to somehow crack this case in a short period of time. Thank you very much, Arvind Kumar Jain, PK Jain, to Rachna, to Susie Ben, and to Padma. Thank you, and to our audience, thank you, and see you soon.
It's great to see you here. Thank you for watching our work. If you haven't subscribed yet, don't forget to click the bell icon and subscribe to Mojo Story and support independent, robust journalism.